Welcome back. What a glorious day for a spot of gardening. Now, if you're worried that it's too late to get your summer garden looking radiant, Paul Harvey, gardener, is with us to see how you can pimp up your garden with some beautiful hydrangeas. Paul, you're very welcome this morning. Just in general, for the general gardener, what should you be doing right about now?
So most people have put in their summer bedding at this stage. So they're looking just for real colour in the garden, real bit of oomph in the garden, something that a real wow factor. And I think this is when hydrangeas are coming into their pomp. They're just everywhere, and they're just the variety in colours, and they're really coming back into fashion because of the variations in colours that you can get and the different types that you can get.
Well, our garden is awash with colour thanks to you this morning, Paul. Is now the time to be planting? Should you have done it earlier, or can you get away with it now?
All these hydrangeas are grown in Ireland, and they're grown in pots, so there's no worry about putting them in. Ideally, March or October, but there's no problem with these because they've all been grown in pots, so they're all containerised.
So they're all ready to go?
All ready to go. The key is when you're putting these in is you dig a hole twice as big as the pot.
Right.
You backfill. I have a product here that's incredibly good. It needs to go in at the time of planting. So it's a mycorrhizal fungi. So it's a bacteria that attaches to the roots to create this secondary root system. So that allows it to take up more water, more nutrients, and ultimately you get a fuller plant with bigger heads and a healthier plant.
Because the idea is the better the roots are, the more water it is, the more it feeds itself, the better the colours are.
Yeah, so it's an amazing product, but it has to go in at the time of planting because it has to attach to the roots. So it's a bacteria that attaches the roots to create that secondary root system.
Okay, so you got to get planting now. You got loads of options for us today, starting with the mop heads here.
Oh yeah, these mop heads, traditional mop heads. So I've got a sparkle curly at the front. We got a salma, which is a gorgeous deep red leaf. Then we move on to the caprinia, and this is one of my favourites that I've seen for the first time this year, Abdullah. So it's got a pink outer edge with white in the centre. It is stunning, and those heads are just going to get bigger and bigger.
Really,
so
how big will they get?
So you're talking twice the height, twice the size of that. And also the beauty of this is they're going to start flowering now, and they won't stop flowering until September, October, depending on the first frosts.
Wow, so this is an annual thing. Once you get it down, it'll...
Yeah, an annual would only last 1 year, so these will come back every year. They're a shrub, so it's deciduous, it'll lose its leaves, but the flowers will come back even better next year. So the key with these is pruning. So you prune between October and March, and it's about taking off the heads because they flower on the old growth of last year, and you get a much more compact flower if you prune. But if you don't prune, they'll still flower, there's no issue, but you get a much better, more fuller plant that you sort of see here in front of you.
So over the winter, you got to be tipping away, keeping them in shape.
Yeah, but it's one go, and then it's the feed.
They're not too labour intensive.
No. So you're talking about a feed twice a year, so March and May just before it flowers, and then just prune once a year, and that's it with them. And look how stunning they are.
Right. What do you got next for us? Lace tops, is it?
Yeah, Lacecap. So this is slightly different. They're a mop head, but the difference with these is they start on the outside and they move their way around. Yeah. So it's a sort of stunning plant. It's just a slightly different to the mop head that sort of fills out.
They are different, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all to do with what you like. And I brought in a couple of blue ones, okay? And like I was talking before, if you put this into normal soil, it'll turn pink. So in the west of Ireland, all the hydrangeas are blue because the soil is more acidic out there.
Yeah.
Hydrangeas are amazing. They do beside the sea. They do everywhere, which is great. But just make sure you put in an ericaceous feed with that, which is sort of there in front, which is something like this. Use ericaceous compost.
When you're planting?
When you're planting, to keep it blue. If not, it'll turn back to pink, so there's no massive harm, but if you want to keep that really rich blue.
So unless you live in the west of Ireland, you're going to have to give these a special feed to get them nice and blue.
Yeah, exactly, Or they'll turn back to pink, like this colour here.
Right, okay, what do you got next for us then? You got the climbing hydrangea.
Yeah, so climbing hydrangea is similar to a Lacecap.
You get that, Al?
It'll grow to about 2 metres, so just slightly taller than myself. Similar to Lacecap, unfortunately it's not in flower now because it's smaller in the pot. But if you're looking, while with the hydrangeas as well, they do in all aspects, which is great. So even if you have a shaded or partial shady area, you can bring great colour to it. And if you have a wall, this will run up the wall, which is great, which is really super plant.
And is this going to flower?
Similar sort of head to this, but all white in the Lacecap format.
Yeah,
so,
are you putting this on a trellis, ideally?
You need to pin it to something. It won't self-cling, but just a small bit of pruning back and you'll get this mound of white that'll flush. And that sort of flowers from sort of May to July. It's just at the moment, because it's in the pot, it isn't flowering.
Now, next up, fans of 70s rock bands will recognise Deep Purple.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, you're going to show us this one.
Yeah, these are stunning. Look at that sort of baby pink that you have there. A really gorgeous colour, the sort of the blue, and that dark purple is something I haven't seen before as that dark. So these are just new, they're brand new, there's sort of a royalty on them. They're a little more expensive at $24.95, but really worth it because
this is a Hydrangea music collection.
Yeah, they've sort of branded.
So it's like a brand,
yeah,
is it?
Exactly. It's just that really soft thing. It's like, I don't know, just that baby blue, baby pink.
They all do have a different sort of vibe about them, if you like.
Exactly.
I mean, blue ballads, there we got soft pink salsa and deep purple there.
Yeah, we need a bit of music out here with them. Would be
exactly.
great, like.
Yeah, where's the band?
Yeah.
All right,
exactly.
finally we're going over to Hydrangea paniculata. Easy for me to say, says you.
Yeah, but what people need to know, this is Annabelle. This has come massively popular.
Right.
In your front, so if you were at your house, think the stunning how a backdrop would look like. Your box hedging in front, this just cascading down, and these won't stop flowering now until October. So imagine that just as your front door as you walk in. It's stunning, really classic, really done good as a border.
Yeah.
So don't just plant one or two, plant a full row of them, and it really gives impact. The heads on them are massive. There's a new variety coming in. I haven't seen them flower. They're called a strong Annabelle, and they're going to even be twice the size of this.
Yeah.
So this is just really like a beautiful. Imagine that a row is.
What's the reason for the popularity of these?
It's just that look. People want that look. They want that big border, those big, massive white heads. Really popular, and I think, and because they're very low maintenance, literally at the end of the season, you'll cut these right back down, and then they'll pop back right up, and they'll give you flowering for 5 months. So that's that beautiful as you walk into your house for 5 months of those really massive white heads.
I think people like that low labour, high results sort of thing, that you're getting a lot of bang for your buck.
And so it's not something you're putting in for 1 year. You put this in, and like you could have that for 10, 15 years, and all you're doing is a bit of pruning, and like I said, a bit of feed in March and May, really to give it good.
Tell us the bad news then, Paul. What sort of price range are you looking for hydrangeas like these?
All the ones over here are $18.95, and we do them at 2 for $35 in the garden centre. These are a little bit more expensive because they have a royalty, and there's sort of a new specialised one. So they are $24.95. The Annabelles, you can actually get them in sort of depending on your size. I brought in some bigger ones just because they are more established. They're about 4 or 5 years old, so they're about €29. But you can buy them at $9.95 in a 3-litre pot as well.
Yeah.
They won't obviously have as much flowers, and they won't be as more established. But depending on your price range, you can get into them at any stage, really.
And once you do the stuff you say, feed them, prune them, look after them, you'll get those results.
Yeah, but that's like 3 things to do in a year, so it like very minimum work.
And this lovely display you have here, can you mix them around? Would you do that? Would you have different types mixed up?
I would generally stick to the types. I would keep with the types. Like, so the Annabelles I definitely keep together. I do the box hedging in the front. With it, just keep it simple, because then in the winter it looks really good. When you prune it back, it just has that green look. I would keep the soft colours together. I prefer sort of all the one colour together, but that's my choice.
Personal taste, whatever you fancy yourself.
Exactly. So if you want to mix and match it, like you say, look at the show that we put on today. Like, you could
knock yourself out. Look at that. Paul Harvey, thanks for joining us with all you needed to know about hydrangeas. I think we're fully educated this morning.